Welcome back to my CryptoQ Media channel. It's great to have you back. We have always had strong reservations about the SEC and its head, Kim Jong-un, and this just confirms our worst fears. To cut to the chase, this is Kim Jong-un's worst day since last July, when Judge Torres declared that XRP is not a security. Since it is yet another complaint against the SEC, this one is very amusing. This is the second time Coinbase has sued them. It was a disastrous day for Kim Jong-un, and I hope I haven't forgotten anything. At least 2 Supreme Court verdicts today were against the SEC's position. I want to clarify something before we go any further. I don't come from any kind of financial background. Financial matters are unrelated to my profession. Plus, you shouldn't listen to me if you want to make a sale or buy something. All I am is an enthusiastic amateur that enjoys making films on Bitcoin on YouTube. Right now, it's just something I enjoy doing for fun, and you already know that. The SEC is already looking into Coinbase. I thought it would be best to take care of this first, since a lawsuit is soon to be filed there, before delving into the new dispute. Coinbase has recently received 4,000 Bitcoin from the US government. The following is a snippet from an interesting LinkedIn article by attorney John Deaton, which explains why he reposted that on X. Legal counsel for us is attorney Deaton. Everyone in the United States has finally had enough of the government's idiocy. Gary Gensler, who was under Senator Elizabeth Warren's influence, joined the anti-crypto army that she swore to form when she announced her re-election. As SEC chairman, Gensler has declared the Coinbase industry illegal. But that shadowy business is actually the US government peddling Bitcoin to its own citizens. This is all factual information. But please, pause for a second to fully comprehend that. The government is the one suing. We believe it is appropriate to sue you as a foreign entity. Would it be feasible for us to make use of your services? They appear to be fantastic. You have to be kidding me. Eric Voorhees, how are you doing? To rephrase, it was rather short. He is, of course, the one who founded Shapeshift, the cryptocurrency exchange. He mentioned utilizing Coinbase and mentioned that it has been classified as an unlawful brokerage by US authorities. As its broker, you can't possibly fabricate this information. The SEC's handling of their own XRP ledger validator while asserting that everything was a security breach and not fraud is just as naive as this. The SEC employs a third party to deal with illegal securities transactions, but otherwise, the procedure is same. It makes no difference. The SEC enabled illegal activity by funding lawsuits against Ripple and attacks on XRP holders who maintained a validated XRP ledger. Figure out what's going on right now. In a complaint filed against the SEC and the FDIC, Coinbase allegedly cited non-compliance, as reported by Cointelegraph. After everything the XRP community has been through in the last several years, I must admit that I genuinely love it when other crypto industry entities take the offense in this situation. In the case of SEC v Ripple, Coinbase should have intervened far earlier. They were able to submit an amicus brief despite being late and without getting any press. Even though a lot of people and organizations weren't there when we needed them, we still have to pull together. We would both benefit from working together, it's a fact. Regardless, the following: Coinbase has served legal papers on several federal bodies, including the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation and the Securities and Exchange Commission. According to reports, the SEC and FDIC were the targets of lawsuits filed on June 27 in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. The plaintiffs alleged that the defendants had declined to comply with FOIA requests. Fox Business Report spread the word about this. According to Coinbase's claims, Government entities are attempting to block the cryptocurrency business from using traditional banking services. I will pause now because this is typical for the course. Just in case you forgot, another non-governmental organization NGO called Empower Oversight has also hit a wall. Despite the prevalence of such FOIA requests, the SEC continues to flagrantly disregard its legal responsibilities. Right now, that's how things stand. This agency is disgusting all the way through. Let me go ahead. Federal agencies' positions on Ethereum were the subject of Freedom of Information Act demands directed at the SEC. A key distinction is that blockchains now employ consensus procedures based on proof of stake. Earlier investigations about Zachary Coburn and Enigma MPC, as well as Ethereum 2.0, were sought for by Coinbase consulting firm, History Associates Incorporated. Various federal financial regulators, such as the SEC, the FDIC, and the Fed Board, have allegedly been employing all of their regulatory tools against the digital asset industry for the last 2 years in an attempt to bring it to its knees. Exposing the FDIC's role in that unlawful scheme is the goal of this 4-year lawsuit. Does anyone else perceive a familiar sound? Is there a familiarity here? Billy Boy, his thesis, and the free pass speech he gave in June of 2018 are all involved, and it's very similar to what we encountered with the XRP community and the SEC v replication. Because fire is sure to break out wherever smoke is present. The same thing keeps happening. It is absolutely the case here, as it is usually the case. Coinbase claims that the regulatory actions aimed at the Bitcoin industry are a part of a bigger plan to undermine it. Nevertheless, litigation alleges that the SEC and FDIC's moves are an attempt to block digital asset companies from using central banking services. In court documents, it is revealed that the SEC is concealing investigation records, which Coinbase views as a deliberate obstruction to understanding the reasoning behind the agency's enforcement actions. I couldn't agree more. Here we have James Murphy, X's metal law guy, reading, Current Time. As part of its investigation into Operation Choke Point 2.0, the government's crackdown on the cryptocurrency industry, Coinbase sued the SEC and the FDIC. We have faith that Congress will use the funds we provide them to accomplish this. Put an end to this corruption for good by invading with the Marines. It is my firm belief that John Deaton ought to be appointed to the Senate. Next thing you know, this happens. John Dean's crypto law organization has published the following article. Depending on your point of view, this ends our entertaining day of Gary's setbacks. Gary, firearms are something I really dislike. Just being that Mr. Burns impersonator is something I really dislike. Gary Gensler has suffered a devastating defeat in court. The use of internal tribunals by the SEC is unconstitutional, according to a 6-3 ruling by the Supreme Court. Juraski cited the case as SEC v. JARC and offered a hyperlink to the opinion's contents. The words of John Deaton are presented here. It is my firm belief that this Supreme Court ruling is correct, having spent the better part of 2 decades fighting large corporations on behalf of individuals afflicted with lung cancer across the Commonwealth and the Misa hypothesis OMA. The right to a trial by a jury, as established by the 7th Amendment, is an essential part of our system of civil justice. It helps rein in the SEC and other federal agencies that have gotten out of hand. The importance of the 7th Amendment in the United States cannot be overstated when it comes to limiting the growth of the SEC. That is correct, of course. If you could subscribe and give my channel a like, I would be incredibly grateful. As we part ways, I will see you in the next video.